Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Welcome to this new series on arpeggios. I'm a professional guitarist here in Nashville, Tennessee, and arpeggios are used in, so much of the playing that I do every day. So what is an arpeggio? Let's just get started with that. Arpeggio is the notes within a chord, but they're broken up. So instead of playing a full chord, I break those notes up. And that makes an arpeggio. Hey, there's a PDF that goes along with this. It's all free. The links to that PDF are down in the YouTube description down below, and that will get you to all the pages that you need. So go ahead and have that out in front of you as you're learning, and grab your guitar as well so we can go through this material together. All right, arpeggio comes from the Italian word harp, actually, and it means broken chord. So like we talked about, it's not playing a full chord, it's breaking it up. And that would be an arpeggio. So there's different ways to play it. We're going to start off with a 3-note arpeggio based off of a major triad, which is in C, it would be the root, the third, the fifth, 1, 3, and 5. Now, you can start with the lowest note being the root. You can start with the lowest note being the third or the fifth. For our purposes now, we're going to start in the root position with the first note being the root. And we're also going to start on the 6th string. So I'm going to give you a 3-note version of it first, and then we're going to do an extended arpeggio. So take a look at the PDF and take a look at page 2 of the PDF. There is, on the 6th string, we go to the C, and we're going to start off with one that starts with our 2nd finger on the 6th string root. Now I'm going to give you one that starts with the 2nd finger. I'm going to give you one that starts with the 1st finger, and one that starts with the 4th finger. On the 6th string root, we don't usually use our 3rd finger. So these are the main ones that we'll be using. So here we go. Take a look at that first one at the bottom of page 2. We find the 8th fret on the 6th string, and we put our 2nd finger there. Notice on the little diagram there, it has a diamond. That is the root. The diamonds, as you're going to see in this PDF, all of those relate to the root of the chord. That shows you which one of these notes in the arpeggio is the root. So the first one we're going to come across is a C major triad, played with our 2nd finger at the 6th string 8th fret, 1st finger on the 5th string 7th fret, and pinky over here at the 5th string at the, the 10th fret. So we have 2nd, 1st, 4th. If we played that up and down, it would be. That is a major triad played on adjacent strings with our 2nd finger as the root. That's the root. So if I wanted to do it in, let's say, B flat, I would need to move this down to the B flat and do this same pattern. So a lot of these arpeggios, what I want you to focus in on is the finger pattern of it. What pattern is our fingers moving as we're going throughout this thing? So I tried to give you the notation every way I could. I gave you the chord block. I gave it to you written out in music. The circled letters there are the numbers that are telling you which finger to use, and I also gave it to you in tab. So that's the first major triad. Now I can extend that out to make, an octave and a half or so of a position. So take a look at the top of page 3. What do we have here? I'm going to start with that same triad, but instead of using my pinky, I'm going to put my 3rd finger there and kind of shift up. So the extended triad, top of page 3, is going to be. So I start in the 7th position, but then pretty quick go to the 8th position with that 3rd finger there. Steve, why don't you just use your pinky there? Because that gets awkward. You'll see that real quick. And I can't reach up to this high one. So it's better to just do a big stretch here with this 3rd finger. And you can go there, and then you work your way back down. As you're picking this, you can do downstrokes, you can do down and up, so you can even do a sweep picking on notes that are on adjacent strings. There you go. So that is the simple version and the extended. There you go. There you go. Starting with our second finger. All right, let's look at another one. Let's look at one starting with our fourth finger. So this is still a C major triad, but I'm going to start it with my fourth finger now, which kind of puts us in the fifth position on the guitar. Remember, where your first finger is determines what position number you are in. So if I'm down here, this is said to be in the fifth position. So I'm going to put my pinky now on that C at the 8th fret on the 6th string, and we're going to do a simple arpeggio here. Fourth finger, third finger, first, and then I roll down. You're going to see a lot of this in these arpeggios, that little arced line there. I just roll down and roll back. So I don't go 4, 3, 1, then lift up and do that. I don't do that. I roll down to make that smooth. All right, so if I extend that arpeggio, then we end up with one that goes 2 octaves here, and it'll be first finger rolling down, first finger, then I put pinky for the G, and then pinky for the high C. A great little major arpeggio. So I've done it one with the second finger. I've done one with my pinky now. All right, so those two are the easier ones of the three. The harder one of the three is the one with the use of first finger, so that's why I waited until now to do that one. So take a look at the bottom of page 3, or excuse me, the top of page 4. Top of page 4, now I've got my first finger on this C, and I'm going to do the smaller arpeggio, just the 1 octave arpeggio. So it would be first finger, big stretch, fourth finger up here at the 12th fret, and then I would do probably second finger for this G and this C there for the smaller arpeggio. Do y'all see that? So when your hand is playing, I can either stretch with my pinky out this way, but almost sometimes it's more comfortable to stretch between 1 and 2 with my first and second finger. And that way, see if I did it with my third finger, that would create a really awkward stretch between third and fourth right here. So you have to kind of think about the economy of picking here and your fingerings there. So take a look at the top of page 4. This is the third one of a major triad or major arpeggio on the 6th string with a 6-string root. Here it is with our first finger. First, fourth, then second, rolling down, and then back up. Again, that first root is with the diamond, so if I wanted to, let's say, play at an A, it'd be the same finger pattern. And I'm inverting that second finger when I'm flopping down on that. So let's go back to C. So if I wanted to continue this one and make it into kind of almost a 2.5 octave arpeggio, which is a great one, I'm going to have to do a little bit of switching around on my fingers. So here, let me play it and then I'll talk you through it. What's going on here? I have my first finger on the C, then I jump up with my third finger and I play the E on the 6th string, 12th fret, then first finger, and then I jump up to the 12th position, put my third finger at the 14th fret, and that allows me to get all the way up for 2.5 octaves. There you go. It's a great arpeggio. A lot of times when I jump up with that third finger, I can even slide up to it. A great little lick. You can turn these into. So that third finger jump is one that you're going to see a lot. There you go. All right, so those are the 3 arpeggios on the 6th string for a major chord. Let's review. With our second finger, we went. With our first finger, we had, with our fourth finger, we jumped down here to the 5th position. And then we did it it at the 8th position with our first finger. And there you go. Okay, now is that the only way to play an arpeggio? No, but those are the 3 main ones that I use if I needed to play a major triad arpeggio, 3-note arpeggio on the 6th string. Hey, if I need to play it in G, no problem. I can't do the other one because it gets me off the neck. But I can do the other one, the first finger one. Where do you use these arpeggios? Well, if I'm soloing and I need to fill some time, fill some space over a chord that lasts for, let's say, 4 beats or something, and if I don't want to have to, kind of think of something creative to play, I can play an arpeggio or parts of an arpeggio. And just noodle around on that arpeggio. Hey, that took me, well, I played probably 16 notes there, and all over one arpeggio. So the payoff is real big on that. So we learned the 6-string roots. I can play with my second finger. I've learned one that I can play with my pinky, and I've learned one that I can play with my first finger. Take a look at the next one. This is the bottom of page 4. Let's go and look at the ones on the 5th string. So we've talked about ones with roots on the 6th string. Now we're going to talk about ones with roots on the 5th string. Now you'll see after 5th string, we really don't need to do too much more because they're all the other ones are connected in ones we've previously done. So once you've kind of hit 6th and 5th, then you've got it. So take a look at the bottom of page 4, and let's look at the smaller triad, starting with the 2nd finger again, with the C on the 5th string now. So this would be over here at the 3rd fret, 5th string, the 2nd position where our first finger is at. Hey, look at that. That's the same shape. 2 1 2 1 4 2 2 1 4 1 2. Same shape as the one that I did on the 6th string. Hey, if you do it on the 4th string, find the C at the 4th string, do the same thing. It's the same shape. Are you starting to see the possibilities here? Hey, if I do it with a root on the 2nd string, it's the same shape. One shape, and I've got 4 of the 5 possibilities of playing an arpeggio. Now, it doesn't work with the root on the 3rd string, that because of how the guitar is tuned. It's tuned a little bit differently, so the finger is different for that one. So, if I wanted to, I could connect them. All I'm doing is just jumping with these to the same finger pattern. A good way to do that, okay? All right, so we've looked at the smaller arpeggio there. Let's extend this one out with the top of page 5. Now, you'll notice that the fingering changes again to create, instead of using our pinky for this G, I'm going to use my 3rd finger. 3rd finger there, and then just roll down, roll down, roll down, then 1st finger on the G. So if I put that all together, it's... So that one doesn't go an octave, 2 octaves or anything, but does go an octave and a half. Remember, I can move it just like I moved on the 6th string. If I wanted to play it, a C sharp arpeggio, D arpeggio, I'm just moving up according to that root. 2nd finger is where that root is. That's where the diamond is. So that's the smaller arpeggio, the extended one. Look at the next one here. This is the middle of page 5. So we've done one with our 2nd finger. Let's do one with our 1st finger. Just like we had before, big stretch. 1 4 2. Hey, wait a minute. 1 4 2. Again, it's the same finger pattern. as it was on the 6th string. Do you start to see how these all overlap after a while? 1st finger, 4th finger, 2nd finger. If I wanted to take it down to the octave, I would just bend that 2nd finger down. And we would be in the 3rd position because that's where our 1st finger is at. All right, if I wanted to extend this one out, I'm going to jump just like I did with this other one. Jump up to and use my 3rd finger. I'm going to do the same thing here. 3rd finger. Hey, Steve, isn't that the same arpeggio that the 6th string is on? Instead of playing the C there, I'm going to play it there. Do you see how they're starting to overlap? Overlap. D flat. B flat. It's a great tool to have in your toolbox of being a guitarist. So if I play that one more time in C, 1st finger, 3rd finger, then I just roll. I can just bar really that 4th finger right there. That's what that curved line on the diagram is. I can just bar that and then just bar all this. Then jump down. So how I would practice these was I would probably start with a metronome, and I would do them, since we're trying to get the patterns of it down, I would do them sequentially up and down for a while just to really solidify the patterns. At the end of this, on page 6 and 7, I give you a way to practice these to really get them down underneath your fingers. So, all right, so we have learned 3 ways to play it on the 6th string. We've learned 2 ways to play it on the 5th string. Let's learn the last one. Look at the page 6. Now, I've got to switch keys on this one because if I played my pinky here, I'd run off the neck. So I'm going to switch the key of F real quick for this one. So I'm going to start out with my pinky on the F on the 5th string at the 8th fret. Okay, so now my root is with my pinky. What's the pattern here? 4th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 4th. Now, if you'll notice, that's part of the arpeggio that we already learned. So once we get about 4 or 5 of these, you've got them all because they all just overlap. So if I did that here, now I also included a couple of notes underneath it. So, because you can still continue that F-A-C pattern, F-A-C, F-A-C, A-F-C, A-F, C, A. I just can't go down to that low F. And that's a good way to do a major arpeggio with your 4th finger. So we've learned 3 ways to do it on the 6th string with our 2nd finger, pinky, and 1st finger. We've learned 3 ways to do it now on the 5th string with our 2nd finger, 1st finger, and then with a root on the with our 4th finger. Great arpeggios. So I've given you now, 6 different ways to play these arpeggios. Take a look at the bottom half of page 6. This is where we get to how you should practice these. Because if you'll notice, it's not just me explaining them, it's you actually doing it that's going to be the real trick in learning all this stuff. So here's how I would practice this. To learn the 6th string ones, the ones with a root on the 6 strings, okay, I would start in A, and I would start on A, and that would be, if I do, I'm focusing on this A, so I'm going to start with my root on the 1st finger, right here, and I would play the extended arpeggio. Sorry. I would do it in A, so I do that a few times. Maybe with a metronome. And then I would do it with a root on the 2nd finger. So now I'm to this arpeggio. Okay, I know they all sound similar, but it's different fingering, so that's the trick. Okay, if I do it now, I do it with my root on the fourth finger there. So that would be in the second position. Review. With my first finger. With my second finger. With my pinky. Sorry. Okay, and then I would do it in B flat, so I'm just a half step up. Start here at the sixth position now. With my second finger. With my pinky. Okay, then I would do in C major. So now I've skipped up 2, so now I'm here. With my first finger starts it. Sorry. Let me do that again. With my second finger. With my pinky. Now, I realize I'm going pretty fast through here. You can always come back and slow the tempo down and try and play along with me as I'm doing this with the slower tempo on your YouTube settings gear icon down there in the lower right-hand corner. You can change and go to 75% or 50% or something like that. And that's how I would practice those. I would start in A in the good middle part of the neck, then I would do B flat, then maybe C, and then I would go up, as far as I can go, maybe a D. Now, if you're on an acoustic, that may be as far as you could go as C, because you're just going to start running out of neck to do that. But then I would start at A, and then I maybe go down to A flat, and that's really about as far as I could go down because I start running out of neck. Do little patterns. Back and forth. Something like that, just to give yourself some different practice on that. All right, so we've done it on this 6th string. That's the practice challenge number 1. Practice challenge number 2 is we're going to work on now the 5th string root ones. So I would start here, I would start in D, and I would do these patterns. That's the 5th string root expanded version. Then I would do it with my second finger. Get used to that one. Then I would do my 4th finger. Sorry. With those extended notes. I would do it in E flat, I would do it in F, and I would continue to work my way up until I run out of neck. And that's how I would practice that. Today we covered the major triad arpeggios for the 6th string and the 5th string, and you'll see how they went all the way into all the other strings as well. And those are the 6 forms that I use all the time. Now, next time we're going to get into minor triads, and we're going to do minor ones, and I'm going to show you 6 different ways to do minor triads. After that, we're going to do a couple of exercises going up and down the neck in these major and minor triads. Do all sorts of little tricks with that. We can do that on the 6th and the 5th string. Very helpful. Little exercises like that. Fun little exercise. Then we're going to get into 4-note triads, jazz triads, or jazz arpeggios. And I'm going to show you this great exercise that takes you through all of these 7th arpeggios. So we got a lot of great stuff to come. Practice, get those major triads first. One's on the 6th string. There's 3 different ways to play it. 1st finger, 2nd finger, and 4th finger. And then the ones on the 5th string as well. first finger, second finger, fourth string finger. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you get something out of it, take a moment to subscribe, and you'll know when we go live for our next lesson. Keep up the great work. Make sure you download that PDF, work on it, and we will see you next time for our minor arpeggios. We'll see you guys next time.